it is Halloween tomorrow, I thought I would put together a little Halloween makeup tutorial, if you can call it that, because I'm not a professional. I just found a picture on Pinterest that I liked, so if you want to see how I created this look, then carry on watching. Last year I decided I wanted to do something a little bit different for Halloween, so I had a little browse on Pinterest and found a picture that I liked and copied it in face paint. So I'll insert a picture of that here. I did post it on my Instagram at the time, but in case you haven't seen that, then I'll post a picture of it here. But I really enjoyed doing that, so I thought I would do the same again this year, just find something on Pinterest that I like and try and recreate it. I was really interested by all this sort of half face look, so half normal face and half Halloweeny, and I found this really interesting picture that I liked on Pinterest of sort of a half skull skeleton Day of the Dead-esque thing and half normal face, and I thought I really like that, so I'm going to try and recreate it. The picture was actually a screenshot of someone's Instagram, so it had an Instagram name at the top, which was Lizzie Sharp. I went on the Instagram and Instagram isn't actually working right now. I don't know why, but I can't get onto Instagram. So as far as I remember, she was a sort of makeup artist and she posted the picture last Halloween. So you can go and I'll link the Instagram below so you can go and have a look. So I'm not taking any credit for the creation of this look. I'm literally copying this picture because I think it's a really cool look. So thanks to Lizzie for posting and creating that look because it's really cool. This was done by a professional person. I am a complete amateur. I would also like to tell you that I have never ever done this before. It's not like I've practiced this several times before filming right now. I have never done this because I think that's a much better way to do it, because then it shows how you can just do it from your first go. Like, I'm doing it from my first go, so if you watch this video and want to recreate it, you can just do it from your first go, because I haven't practiced at all. I'm just winging it, completely winging it. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I'm just going to see what happens. I'm going to be using the Snazaroo face paints, which you can get in like fancy dress shops and everything like that. I've got 5 colours that I'm going to use. I have got white, black, some of these are a bit old, bright red, turquoise and lilac. To apply this face paint, I've just got a couple of different like ordinary paint brushes and makeup brushes because it's water soluble, this face paint, so it'll all wash out anyway. I also have a couple of triangle sponges that just to like cover big areas, and I've set myself up with a bowl of water just to wetten the sponges and the brushes before I use them in the face paint. And I also have a towel laid out so I can like dry the brushes and sponges in between and just keep the area just a bit cleaner so I don't get a mess everywhere. And yeah, I'm going to get started now, so here goes nothing. So I'm starting with a completely bare face. I've just got a little bit of moisturiser on and nothing else. Hair scraped back out of the way, and I'm ready to get started. I'm really nervous because I don't know how well this is going to go, but we're going to give it a go. If you notice me looking behind, then I've got a big mirror behind so I can see like the full thing, as well as a little mirror to look closely. So if I look behind, then that's where I'm looking, at the mirror behind. I've also printed out copies of the 2 pictures that I'm working from, so they are over there. So if I look over there, then that is what I'm looking at for reference to see what I'm doing next. So to start off with, I'm going to draw the line down the face to sort of separate the normal side and the skull side. So yeah, I'm going to start with that, and that's sort of like a reddy colour, so I'm going to do a red thin line with a paintbrush using my face paints. It's never going to look exactly like the picture because that would be impossible, so I'm just doing it as close as I possibly can. So there is my rough line across my face to sort of divide the 2 halves of the face. I might go over it again a bit more to just make sure it's there properly once I have put in the white, because the white might go over it a bit, so I'm going to do like a bit more filling in on that in a bit. Next I'm going to fill in the whole of this side of the face white. So I've got my white face paint and I'm going to use a sponge this time just to cover more area, so I'm going to wet that a bit so it goes on properly. But yeah, I think that I'm just totally guesstimating with this. This could go not how it's supposed to be, but I've got no tutorial. I'm just making it up as I go along, as I do a lot of things. So we're just hoping for the best really. So I'm going to go and fill in this side of my face in white. only going to like the chin line, like jawline, along there. Because in the picture, she has sort of like spine bones going down there. What are they called? I don't know. Is it called spine bones? I don't know. Get right in at that line. I might need to go in with a paintbrush just so it's closer against the line. Now I've sort of got a base layer on, rather than like wiping, I'm going to like dab it on a bit more just to layer it up and make it the full white colour. Now I'm going to go in with a paintbrush and just get right in against the red line that I made. So that is everything I'm going to do to the white base of this, because I'm taking off more than I'm putting on by adding to it. So yeah, that's all I'm going to do, and then at the end I'll go over the red line once I've done it all, just to finish that off properly. But that is all that I'm going to do on the white base. Now I'm going to move on to my black face paint, and again with like a little triangle sponge I'm going to wet this and use it with the face paint, and I'm going to do the eye and the nose area. It doesn't seem to be going on very well with a sponge, so I'm going to try using a paintbrush instead. I think it wasn't going on properly because I've made the face paint a bit too moist and a bit wet, so make sure that you don't do that, because the face paint won't go on properly, it'll go really runny and thin. So don't over wetten, or I don't know, whatever the word is, your face paint. I think there's mice in my house. I keep hearing this noise up in the ceiling, like a scrummaging noise. It's really starting to freak me out. I've heard it for a couple of weeks now and it's freaking me out. But I'm sure as hell not going up there to look. So that is the black of the eye area done. Now I'm going to move on to doing the nose. So that is all I'm going to do on the nose. It's the best I think it's going to look, so I'm going to leave it like that with the thin little line like in the picture down the centre. And yeah, that is the nose and the eye black area done. There's also a black bit on this temple of the photograph that I'm copying, so I'm just going to do that. There are also sort of like contour areas, if that's what you can call it on a skull, around the contour area of the face. So I'm just going to draw those in now with a thin, this is actually one of my barely used makeup brushes. So I figured it's water soluble, this face paint, so this makeup brush will be fine because it's got quite a fine point, so I'll be able to get the actual detail in a lot easier. Constantly chopping and changing which brush I'm using because I don't know which one's going to be best for it, so as I said, just going with the flow, seeing what works and what doesn't. So that's what life's all about, isn't it? There you go, philosophical lesson whilst I do a Halloween tutorial. Didn't expect that, did you? There is actually one on this side of the face as well, but I haven't drawn my line as high up as in the picture, so I'm just going to do like the tail end of it because I have done it too low to do it properly. So that is the sort of contour-y bits done. I'm going to leave the black for now and do a bit of the colour aspect that is part of this look that I'm copying, and just continue with the back in a minute. So now I'm moving on to my red, purple and blue colours. So these are the ones I'm going to be using, and I'm going to be using paintbrushes with them because they're quite fine detailed parts of the look. Starting off with the red, I'm going to do the little like semicircle thing on the chin. As you can tell, it's not a very technical tutorial calling it the semicircle thing on the chin. But yeah, I'm going to do that little bit on the chin now. Now I'm going to do the purple little layer of triangles. So I'm just sort of like outlining the triangles first before I sort of fill them in. So that is my triangles. I'm now going to edge those with the black face paint like in the picture just to define them a bit more. I'm just going to do the little turquoise dots on the chin now. I'm now moving back to the purple with a paintbrush to do the triangles around the eye area. Going back to my black with my tiny little brush to outline the edges of those triangles. I'm now just going to do the little line on the forehead of the picture. Now I'm going to do my final bit with the turquoise, just the dots around the eye area. Just to totally finish off the eye area, I'm just going to use my normal eyeliner and just go in around my waterline just so it's quite black in there. There we go, that is the eye area done. Going back to my black and my paintbrush, I'm going to do the lips now. So that is all of the main parts done. There's just a few bits of like shading areas, so I'm just going to roughly do those with the black just to complete the look on this side of the face anyway. I'm just going to put a bit of black down my neck just so it sort of connects together. I'm not going to do all the spine detail because if I'm honest I can't really be bothered, so if you fancy doing that then just follow the picture that I have included at the beginning. But I'm just going to do the black under my chin. God, it's hard to see under your chin, isn't it? And just do it roughly, just down my neck a bit, just to connect it up to whatever costume you'd wear with it. that I'm going to do on the skeleton side of the face. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm pretty happy with it. And now I'm going to focus on the normal side of the face. Because I want to make it more about the makeup, I'm not going to do this in detail and show exactly everything that I use. So I'm just going to speed this bit up so you can see roughly what I'm putting on my face, and I'll leave a list in the description box of the products that I've used on my face this side as well as this side, so you can see which bits I'm using, but I'm not going to go into detail about I'm doing this and I'm doing that. I'm just going to do my sort of everyday makeup look on this side. Finally, I'm just going to, as I said, go over this red line just so it's a bit more solid and sorted out, and just smudge it out a bit so it just looks a bit better. So I'm just going to use a paintbrush again, or makeup brush, whatever you want to call it, and go back to my red face paint and just sort out that line. That is my total makeup look completed, and now I'm going to sort out my hair. I'm just going to curl it a little bit just so it looks a bit nicer than up, and yeah, so I'm just going to fast forward that bit because I'm just going to curl it really. Sorry about that, my camera actually died and ran out of battery and ran out of memory on my memory card at the same time, so it stopped filming whilst I was doing my hair. All I did was just give it a rough curl all over, and then I popped on this headband that I wore last year for my Halloween costume just to add a little bit of something to my hair. And that is my finished look. I don't have a full sort of skeleton costume, but I saw somewhere online that an idea to make a cheap skeleton costume, just get black clothes and use masking tape to put on the bones, and I thought that's a really good idea. So if you want to make a cheap skeleton costume, then that is a tip or trick of where you could do one. It's the end of my skeleton, half face, whatever you want to call it, tutorial, or not a tutorial, whatever you want to call this video. But as I said at the beginning, I have never ever done this before. I didn't practice once in doing this. I literally found a picture on Pinterest that I liked and decided to do it right here, right now, filming this video. So it shows that you can easily do it by yourself at home. You don't have to be like a makeup artist or anything like that to recreate a look like this, because you can do it on your first go, or if it's a bit hard then just simplify it a bit and don't do as much detail. It's quite a nice picture that I found and I really enjoyed recreating this, so thank you to the original person who did this, and I will link the Instagram page that I found it on down below, so if you want to have a look at that, feel free. And yeah, so I'm quite pleased with how it's come out, and hopefully you enjoyed watching this video, or you've done it yourself. Let me know if you do it yourself, because I'd be really interested to see how yours come out. All that's left for me to say is thanks for watching. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, then please subscribe, that would be amazing, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. And happy Halloween! So I hope you have a good one.